everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Julia, and it's been about 2.5 to 3 months since I've given an update. I'm more of a introverted person, so I'm not going to have a very big popular channel with a lot of videos just because that's not my personality style, but I wanted to do something just because I have the time for once in a very long time, and somewhere, somehow, maybe someone will find it helpful. We typically do trimesters in our home. So we've completed our first trimester. I have no idea how far into the second trimester, probably about 3 weeks into the trimester. We've had a lot of sickness. We've had whatever was going on in December, where we had back-to-back ick of intestinal and stomach, followed by deep chest cold. So I've still got a little bit of sinus stuffing going on. I'm very pleased with the flow of our homeschool lately. Probably about since October, November. I've gone back to my roots. I've pared down a lot of the curriculum. I've gone back to library card, my bookshelves, and taking things that I like that you find from curriculum and just making our own with our own resources. I am still using curriculum. I'm not saying that I'm not. Simply Charlotte Mason, they're updated of Using Language Well. I have been using that for my oldest two, just because it was a lot easier than having the first edition with the multiple books going. Everything's in one book for each of them. However, I do think that the first edition has stronger vocabulary. They use stronger quotes, stronger passages, so we will probably go back to that next year. My 5th grader is about to finish up with level 1 of the new edition. She was not ready for level 2. She is my child that at the beginning of the year, she has a major regression, and then somewhere between December and January, she makes a leap, and we just go through that over and over again. So she's at that point where we could skip out of the rest of 1 and dive partway, maybe even halfway into level 2, and she would be just fine. So that's going great. I think one of my big messages would be just saying it so that I hear it, so that I can come back and I can hear it for myself over and over and over again. We're getting into mid-January. Pretty soon you're going to start finding all of the curriculum sales. Good and the Beautiful has them. There's several book publishers that have them. Who's a couple of the other ones? I can't remember all the other ones, but they have a lot of sales coming up. March and April, those are always big hit months because people are getting their taxes back, or they know what they're going to get for their taxes. People have that itch. My dog Moose, so if you hear whining and whimpering, he's laying right underneath me. He distracted me. It's at that time where you just want to be done. You want to put everything away. You want something new. You want something exciting. You want something different. You're tired of what you've been using, and you start going through that cabin fever in mid-January to beginning of February, and you're just looking for something, anything that's not what you're doing, a distraction. Encouraging myself, encouraging you, anybody that watches this, hold steadfast to what you're doing. Don't spend money if you don't have to. Avoid the typical shopping traps of spend, buy. I know I've gotten into that the last few years because I was functioning in survival mode. I was looking for distractions. I was looking for the next new and shiny thing, and I was constantly looking at YouTube and other socials to give me inspiration, if you will, to help my mind deal and process with the monotony and the long, dreary seasons we're in. Wisconsin, so we have very, very long winters and very cold springs. So I'm always looking for something to kind of hold me over until I can get out and get sunshine and fresh air. And I know that's common for a lot of people. I see it on Facebook and other places where moms are really wanting something different. Kids are stir crazy. Gird yourself now. I have an itch. Gird yourself now to not make those purchases, to not fall for the slick marketing, to not fall for all of the new electives, all the new courses, all the new everythings that are coming out. What you have right now is working. It doesn't have to be the perfect thing. It doesn't have to be the shiny thing. You don't have to spend money. We forget that homeschoolers 20, 30, 40 years ago were doing it with whatever they could find out of the dumpster. Quite literally, they would go dumpster diving in public schools, government schools, and library trash bins, and they would take what they could get, and that's what they used. And they had wild success, amazing stories, and they weren't given options. They weren't afforded the options that we have today. And we get so wrapped up in all of the options that we get weighed down because there's just too many options. And the curriculum market is set to be something like $12 billion by the time 2028, 2029 rolls around. $12 billion. You and your child are the carrot, your child's the carrot that they dangle in front of your face, that if you don't have this, if you're not doing this, if you don't do it my way or our way, or use this book and use this and blah, 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 your child's not going to have the success that you or they want. And that's not true. If they don't tell you those things, if they don't use the slick marketing, if they don't use the pretty colors and the pretty pages and all of the sleek boxing and everything that gets you all excited to unbox and unwrap and just, yay, something new, they're not making money. You are their cash cow. And I think it would serve us all to realize that in homeschooling, we have been the cash cow for a lot longer than we want to admit. So as I'm going through all of my homeschool and my kids are doing the same old boring thing over and over again, and we're just pulling books off of our shelves and we're getting books from the library, their big thing is, let's get a book and try to find the audio to go with it from the library so they can just read. And we'll do our grammar, we'll do some math. My oldest, she'll do Latin, and she's got government, and there's civics. We do that. I've also started with going back to my roots. I've pulled in YouTube and podcasts. So my children are watching Candace Owens with me. Yes, I'm one of those ones. We're going to start watching Del Bigtree again. He lost his YouTube channel in 2020, and I can't get my phone to do the mirror cast on my TV very effectively. It pauses, it does all these glitchy things. So I think I've found a way to work around that. And if I can, we're going to be watching Del Bigtree for the medical journalism. Who else? Baron Coleman. We watch a lot of alternative news sources, a lot of alternative viewpoints and theories, and we research what they talk about, and we have great conversations. And that's a big part of where we're going. My two oldest are absolutely thrilled with that. My kindergartner, she's just moving right along, doing her thing. She's stuck in between the wanting to be a big older girl and have lots of things to do, but still really enjoys her independent playtime. And we just go with it, go with the flow. Some weeks she's doing 2 lessons of math. Some weeks she's doing 6. Same with her reading lessons, same with anything. It's based on her. I've never been one that kindergarten had to be mandatory. I just don't believe in that. I don't think your children need anything below the age of 6, but that's just me. And that being said, my daughter that just turned 2, she's a new 2-year-old. She's got number recognition. I think she's got up to 12. She can point it out. She can see it anywhere. She can count up to it. She's got better letter recognition than my 4-year-old, and she's almost as good as my 6-year-old, which is mind-blowing. I had how is that even possible? How do kids do that? So it's just going with the flow and reading a lot of books. And my little 2-year-old, she got that through all of the books that we read, all of the things that we do. And she's 2. You don't need to spend $30, $40, $150 for curriculum that we got from the library with some books. And we just keep the books fresh, and we just keep those things at their fingertips. The other ones, we've replaced our story orchestras. You can see I've got Christmas, everything all around me because we're Catholic and Christmas ends Candlemas. So we'll be having all of this up until February. But we repurchased our story orchestra books, which they are obsessed with, and we're going to break out the Maestro Classics. If you don't know about Maestro Classics, they offer CD or MP3 download, and it's going through like the Nutcracker or the Swan Lake, and Jim Weiss does either all of them or most of the narrations for the story, and then you hear the orchestral music in the background, and then they go through a biography at the end. There's a lot of activities, audio activities at the end of each CD. So we're going to be breaking those out again. My 11-year-old, my 5th grader, has, again, with just the having a library card and a library card education like my channel talks about, went through this book in a matter of 8 hours. It is a thick book. So it's Greek mythology, mostly Greek mythology with constellations. I switched over to Sabbath Mood for science this year, and halfway through our first unit, it was just, I like the flow, I like the structure, but I like having my own resources. I like picking my own resources. So we've used Sabbath Mood's modeling, but with things that I want to do. Still sick. And so that's really good. And I think that's about it. I've had some health scares. I had thermography scan done in October. Sorry. Thermography scans done in October. I have a lot of hot spots from my sinus all the way down to my foot, all on the left side of the body. I thought I had breast cancer or lymphoma. Thankfully, I don't have that, but the scans did show that if I don't get certain things cleared up, it's going to turn into that in a matter of 5 to 7 years. So I have to really work on that. I have to get sleep. So I'm going through my own issues. I understand now why, if you watch my beginning videos, you'll always see why my face is red, my eyes are swollen. They look swollen now because I just had a coughing spasm because I sucked in my spit. And I'm still wanting to cough. But you'll see how tired I was, how puffy my face was. I was not sleeping. I was not able to take care of myself. And I know why now. I know why now. I see all these different things, and it's like, oh, when you see everything light up on a thermography scan, you can kind of, it's like connecting the puzzle pieces. You can see, well, this thing that I've had for years and this thing that I've had for months and this and this and this, instead of just looking at them as individual issues, you see how everything ties in and how everything relates. And I decided to go on a very high dose of vitamin D, which turned around a great deal many of my symptoms in less than 2 weeks. Absolutely astonishing. There is a doctor out of England. He's on YouTube, Dr. John Campbell. He's got a great YouTube channel. But he was very pro-establishment science, very pro-establishment medicine with the jabs, everything. And then he's had a come to Jesus moment in the last few years. And he's now diving into all of this research that he, as not only a doctor, but as a university professor, was touting. And he's dismantling everything and watching what he's done with ivermectin and fenbendazole and vitamin D and all these other things. Wow, amazing. So I took his non-advice advice and I started with a high vitamin D protocol, which I'm not saying for you to do because I'm not a doctor, but whoa, did that make a huge difference. I mean, even like the weight started coming off. A little bit of sleep and that just, all that baby weight, 6 babies, 4 babies in 5 years. Woo, got kind of puffy there. It's amazing. I've even got a rebounder. I went and I got a rebounder, so I'm doing rebounding. Haven't been doing the last few weeks because of the cough and the sinuses. I can't handle that right now. But when that goes away, rebounding, and it drains the lymphatic system. And I've noticed pain that I was getting in this area from your sinuses down through your chest because it empties out. You can't really see. It empties out your lymphatic system, empties out right here on both sides, right by your lower armpits. And all the pain that I was having in this area, all of that fluid backup, all of the stuff that wasn't draining. So yeah, it's all making sense now. So it's getting rid of the stress, telling myself I'm not going to be spending copious amounts of money. I'm still going to buy books. I'm still going to add to our library. I'm still going to use some curriculum, math, grammar review. But I think I'm going to be doing whatever I can get for free. So if that means I have to go back to using Good and the Beautiful, even though I don't promote it, I don't like it, well, it's free and I'm going to do that. So I'm looking at those resources. I really like our library card. I really like knowing that we can check out hundreds of books a month and just use that. And I'm not spending tons of money. So take care of yourself, eat healthy, take your supplements if you need to. Look into getting a thermography scan. de-stress, and try very, very hard to not get sucked into the commercial buy with all of this curriculum, because all of us that buy on these sales, all of us that buy all of these things because it's fun and it's exciting and it's a hobby, it's what all of this, whatever you want to label it, we always end up next year realizing just how much we don't use, either never use it or barely touch it. And look at all the money that you're spending. And if you can resell it, I can't resell it in my area. I don't have a lot of people in my area. I live in a very rural area, so I'm stuck with putting it on eBay. And even then, you know, because I shop on eBay, I want to get it for the lowest price. Nobody rebuys anything. So guard yourself, take care of yourself, de-stress, just step away from the consumerism and step away from the rush and the busy, and don't go to either extremes. Don't be the lazy homeschool parent if you can avoid it. Don't fall in line with the totalitarian tiger mom. Everything, it has to be run like a Chinese communist prison sort of type. Just find your groove and relax and enjoy the process, because it's not about the academics. It's about the heart and the relationships and getting them to heaven first. And then the academics that they need to support themselves and to support God's future path for them. Nothing more, nothing less. Have a great day. We'll see you later.